Hello, this is Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall, and before we start this video I kind of want to show how my office currently looks now. Yes, I once again rearranged everything. Over here it's pretty much the same. I've got my main computer there, and below that is the Dell XPS 720 that my aunt gave me. I will be doing a video on that pretty soon. The two monitors for my main computer, which is also connected to my XPS 720. And yes, in the corner is the corner Packard Bell. It's not the most comfortable position for me, but as you'll see in a minute, this is pretty much the best option for it right now. And it's still running just fine. And over here is where I have the majority of my vintage computers, all KVM together. We have the Carolina Flyer, which is going to be the subject of this video, the Dell Dimension 8200 that we saw in the previous video, and the Packard Bell Legend 204 CD, which is actually KVM'd with the corner Packard Bell. And right here is the most recent acquisition. This is a 19-inch Dell UltraScan P991 CRT monitor, manufactured in July of the year 2000. And this uses a Sony Trinitron, and the picture on this is the best I've ever seen on any CRT I've ever owned. This is definitely the best CRT I've ever had. Has a very, very crisp picture, looks amazing. It does 1024 by 768 beautifully. I've never had a CRT monitor before that could do 1024 by 768 in a way that made sense, and this does it in a way that makes sense, and I really like it, and we will be seeing more of that in the video today. But anyway, on to the subject of this video. I want to do an update video on my main Windows 98 PC, the Carolina Flyer, on the left right here. A little bit of history of this machine. I originally built this computer a little over a year ago in August of 2017, and what I had in mind for this system was a computer that could play pretty much every retro computer game you can think of, for the most part, from the early 90s to the early 2000s, and I wanted to accomplish that with hardware that could handle games from all those eras. Like, for instance, this computer has a Sound Blaster All-64 sound card, which makes it compatible for most DOS gaming. It has a 3D Effects Voodoo 3, which can handle most computer games from the 90s. And it has a Pentium 3 500. So that combination of hardware really makes this the ideal system for playing any kind of computer game from the 90s. The motherboard is an A-Open AX6LC from, I believe, 1998. It's a slot 1 motherboard. Originally, I believe this only supported Pentium 2 processors, but I managed to stick a Pentium 3 in here and it detected it just fine. It has a Pentium 3 500. It's actually supposed to be a 600 megahertz Pentium 3, but the motherboard could only take 500 megahertz, and you know what? I don't care, that's fine. And the case it's in is an A-Open case from the mid-2000s, and I have to admit, I really like the look of this case. You see, I have this thing where most computer cases from the 90s and early 2000s, I just don't really care for them. The white box cases, the really plain looking ones with no frills on them, a lot of people seem to absolutely love and adore them, but I just think they're the most boring looking things in the world. I like my vintage computers to have a little pizzazz to them. And the nice thing about this case is that it's still retro looking, but it has a little bit of pizzazz to it, thanks to this little blue trim around it, which I really, really like. I actually got the case brand new, so that's an extra bonus. For a while, the Carolina Flyer was not around. You may recall earlier this year I used my Packard Bell sleeper case to house a Pentium 3 system with similar hardware, but I kind of grew tired of that recently and decided to go back to using the Carolina Flyer. And for a while last year, this was using a Intel motherboard that supported 600 megahertz Pentium 3s just fine. Well, I quit using that when I built the Ultimate Packard Bell out of that sleeper case, and I sent the motherboard over to Scotland for the Flying Scotsman here on YouTube to enjoy. And that motherboard is now in, I believe it's called the Loch Ness computer. So he's really getting a lot of enjoyment out of that, and I'd rather, as much as I'd still like to have that motherboard in this case to have better CPU support, I'm glad that he's really getting an enjoyment out of it. And someday I probably will upgrade the motherboard in here to something a little bit newer. But for now, everything is working great. So, let's go ahead and unplug this, bring it over to the workbench, and take a look at the inside. Okay, let's just go over the front of it once again. I've currently got two optical drives in here. I've got a DVD-ROM on top and a CDRW drive on the bottom, just like they did back in the early 2000s. This CDRW drive was originally in that Celeron system that my church used to have, and I really didn't need it in that computer, so I popped it in here. It's really unnecessary for this computer because it's not like I'm burning CDs on this computer, but you know what, it's there, adds to the aesthetic, it doesn't hurt anything. And down here we got our 3.5-inch floppy drive, power reset, and down here in this compartment we have USB and front headphone microphone jacks, which are not connected because this motherboard and sound card doesn't support either of those, so that pretty much remains closed all the time. On the back we of course have the power supply and the motherboard I/O. We got keyboard, mouse, two USB 1 ports, two serial ports, one parallel port, and down here in the expansion slots we've got our 3D Effects Voodoo 3 video card. Very nice video card, a very kind donation as well from earlier this year. A CF card slot. Yes, the operating system on this computer runs off of a CF card. I actually have a few different operating systems I run on here, more on that later. Ethernet card, and our Sound Blaster All-64 sound card. Very good sound card, I must add. And we also have a lovely little Scotland bumper sticker on the side, courtesy of the Flying Scotsman. Alright, let's take a closer look inside. Okay, of course we got our motherboard right here, the A-Open AX6LC motherboard from, I believe, 1998. Got our slot 1 Pentium 3 right here. Our Voodoo 3, our CF card adapter, and under that is the Ethernet card, and there's the sound card. And over here, even though I got a CF card in this computer, I do have a hard drive right here for data and game storage. Now, one severe limitation of this motherboard is that it has a 32 gigabyte hard drive limit. Now, you may recall about a month or two ago I tried to put a SD card in this computer to use as a hard drive replacement, and it was, I believe, 64 gigabytes, but unfortunately it did not work. I couldn't even get drive overlay software to work on this computer because when it detects the hard drive and it's over 32 gigabytes, the system just freezes up during power on self-test, so you can't get past that. So that forces me to use a 16 gigabyte CF card, which is big enough for what I use the system for. And this hard drive, while it's a 40 gig hard drive, I had to jumper it to only use 32 gigabytes. which is starting to get a little small for my needs. So that's another reason why I need to source a newer motherboard for this computer so I can use better drives. And yes, I have tried a PCI-based IDE adapter, but that just gave me more issues than solutions. But I might try another one someday. But more than likely, I'll probably just save up some money and get a better motherboard for the system. So, that's pretty much all there is to see in here. Oh, and the RAM is right there. I believe it has 256 megabytes of RAM, which is pretty much, in my opinion, the perfect amount for Windows 98. So, let us hook it back up and power it up. Okay, what I want to do in this video, like other videos I've done on this computer, is I want to show how this computer really can run pretty much anything from the DOS era up to the Windows 98 era. So I have a separate CF card for this computer that runs just pure MS-DOS with no Windows at all. It's a version of DOS that comes with Windows 98 actually, and I was able to set it up that way thanks to a video from Phil's Computer Lab, which was very, very helpful. So anyway, let's turn the monitor on first. This has such a powerful DGOS, this monitor, that it shakes the floor. I'm not kidding. So here we go. Of course, we'll go into the BIOS first. Okay, it did not go into the BIOS, but we can always do that later. This is the little DOS startup menu that Phil's Computer Lab made. And it has all kinds of options for memory, mouse, CD-ROM, all that good stuff. But most of the time we'll be using expanded memory plus mouse plus CD-ROM. So we'll go ahead and do that. It's loading up the sound card. And I do have After Dark for DOS on here. Okay, let me readjust the tripod. Okay, because this version of MS-DOS is based off of Windows 98, it's able to read FAT32 partitions, including the hard drive I have in this computer that stores all my games and other related data. So that's drive D. Switch to the DOS directory there. And let's pick us out a DOS game. Let's see. Okay, I found a good one. Little Tyrion. Or not. Okay, maybe we need to TP patch this game because some of these games are a little picky about Pentium 2 CPUs and newer. Had to do that to Jazz Jackrabbit. Okay, guess we're not playing Tyrion. We need to set it up again. Oh, we can't even do that. Okay, let's try this game. I don't think I've ever really played it before. It's from the Maniac Mansion series, Day of the Tentacle. As you can see, the picture on this screen is beautiful. But it looks like a good game, though. I've heard of it, though. Never really played it.
I'm thirsty.
I don't think you should drink that. It looks bad for you.
Nonsense. It makes me feel great. Smarter, more aggressive. I feel like I could.
Let me guess, rule the world.
Like I could.
Rule the world?
Take on the world.
Close enough. You know they had to go with that cliche. Oh, she's lovely looking, and
Look, Hoagie, it's a hamster. Just what I need for dissection lab tomorrow.
I think I need that for the battle.
Oh, I thought that was a woman.
You know, like we could bite its head off or whatever.
Hands off that hamster.
Friend of yours, Bernard?
He belongs to Weird Ed Edison, and it looks like he's brought us a note. It's from my old friend, Green Tentacle. He says that Purple Tentacle's mutated into an insane genius, and Dr. Fred's going to kill them both. I thought I was free of Dr. Fred and those crazy Edisons forever. But now I know that I must go back to the mansion.
yeah, believe it or not, I've never played any of the Maniac Mansion games. Must be a Ford. Oh, I'm sorry, Ford. That was very inconsiderate of myself. Hear that good old ad-lib music.
Okay, we'll spread out commando style. Laverne, you go secure the area behind those double doors. Hoagie, you take care of upstairs reconnaissance. I'll maintain Command HQ here, in the lobby.
What are we looking for?
We've got to find where Dr. Fred is holding the
I'm
tentacles.
looking for love
This
myself.
better not take too long. I've got an anatomy final tomorrow.
And I've got a show to set up later tonight.
Yeah,
If I'm
dude.
late, I don't get to test the drums.
If I know Dr. Fred, he's got the tentacles tied up in his secret lab. Question is, where's his secret lab?
Down the road, off of I-40, near the big billboard. I don't know. Years and years of technological developments has given you the ability to do this. There was voice earlier. I guess this game only has voice in certain sections. Of course, it's never that easy. Darth Vader. Uh-oh. I think it crashed. Yeah, maybe this isn't the most stable setup for DOS games, apparently. Yeah, it's no longer existent. Can't even Control-Alt-Delete. So, yeah, I intended for this part of the video to go a lot better than that. But anyway, I guess we can go ahead and shut it down, switch over to Windows 98. Okay, I was able to get into the BIOS this time. So yeah, we got 256 megs of RAM. A lot of features on this BIOS. It's a jumperless motherboard, by the way. You do everything through the BIOS. Those are the settings I use for the CPU. Again, no matter what setting I put in here, I can't get it to go up to 600 megahertz, but no big deal. Okay, now booting into Windows 98, and as always I have Plus for Windows 98 installed. And this is running at 1024 by 768. And like I said earlier, this is the best looking CRT I've ever used at 1024 by 768. Love that Windows NT startup sound. Okay, this is obviously the operating system I normally use on here. I'm still loading a little bit there. We can go into our system settings, and we've lost focus. Okay, 3D Effects Voodoo 3, Dell P991 monitor. We have a 3COM Ethernet card. I believe this is one that Windows 98 automatically has drivers for. And our Sound Blaster All64, along with a Logitech gamepad that I use on the system. And all the motherboard goodies there. Okay, I adjusted the refresh rate on the monitor, so that should be a lot easier on your eyes there. A little harder on my eyes, but I'll put it back when I'm done with the video. And we got a lot of games here. A lot of other stuff on the start menu, including Word 97. And Paint. Okay, now let's play a game. Again, I want to show off a game from each era. So let's start off with a Windows 3.1 era game, and let's take a look at a game we haven't seen on this channel in a while. It used to be a classic staple here. My First Encyclopedia. Of course, it's one of those Packard Bell bundle games from my childhood.
Welcome to My First
some old tropes from
Encyclopedia,
this channel here,
a
I bet.
magical place to learn and play.
It's a cool place to learn. A place where kids teach kids about things that are important in our world.
We're here to tell you everything you need to know about this special tree. Put your hand on the mouse like this. Ready?
Okay.
If you want to climb the tree,
Hey, I don't want to take instructions from a kid whose hair looks like a mushroom. But then again, that was the style in the mid-90s, and you know what? It was kind of cool. Alright, everyone together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
what do we eat?
None of your business!
This is our secret tree kitchen. Today it's my turn to cook.
Should we trust his cooking or not, I wonder?
Poison.
Probably not, because he has
Something
poison
can
in the
make you
kitchen.
Very, very sick. Some poisons can even kill you. When you see one of those faces on a
You
bottle
know,
or
I've been
can,
playing this game for
stay
almost
away.
23 years now.
It's poison.
And I just realized this kitchen has a box in it dedicated to just pure poison. Why? Why would you have poison just sitting in your kitchen? That's, yeah.
Oven? Oh no, be careful. This is hot.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I was just going to stick my hand in the oven and see what would happen, but okay.
Where do we live?
Again, that's not any of your business.
I love to make things.
Music brings back memories.
This part of my town is where people live and play and go to school. But it's empty. You see,
That's
we
not my
have to
problem.
fill it.
I mean, you
Click
can hear
on
that,
one of those
that
different places.
good sounding
Hold the
MIDI
button
on here
your
from
mouse
that,
down
from that sound
and drag
card.
the place into the puzzle. Put the place
Now,
into
what's
the
a
shape that
gime?
matches. Gym.
Oh, a gime.
Gym is a park, school, house, library, garden. A
Quiet!
place where
This is
people
a library!
grow flowers or vegetables. Flower gardens are full
Sorry
of different
about that,
colored flowers
all
that
that
smell
moment.
nice. Vegetable gardens have food plants in them. People grow tomatoes, lettuce, corn, carrots, and lots of other things. Good job! These are the things that are in my town. Are any of them in your town? You sure know your shapes.
Okay. That's a Windows 3.1 game for you. And it runs perfectly on here. It really doesn't take much to run this. Okay, now on to a Windows 95 era game, which is my CD holder. Just gotta find them first. And for this, we'll have to turn the color back down to 640 by 480. And this is indeed Sonic CD. This is the first Sonic the Hedgehog game I ever played. Except I remember it having sound. And working. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how this game's supposed to run. That's exactly how it's supposed to run. What's going on here? And there's sound in Windows. I don't know why it's not giving me sound. Again, this stuff always waits till I'm doing a video to break down. Oh well, we'll try another game. Actually, an even better game. A little bit of Firefight. I gotta show this game as much as I can on this channel because nobody else seems to be aware of this game's existence.
Electronic Arts, Epic Mega Games, Chaos Works, Firefight.
Straight out of my childhood. Wait, there's no music here. Why am I not getting any CD audio, I wonder? Because I was getting the same problem in Sonic. Oh, that's why it somehow got turned all the way down. I did not do that. Must have been one of those gremlins that likes to run around here and break my computers. But that should have taken care of it.
Electronic Arts, Epic Mega
We
Games,
probably could have played Sonic the
Chaos
Hedgehog,
Works, Firefight.
but this game's better. There we go. Okay, we're set to the joystick, or gamepad in this case. But yeah, this game, I've said it before and I'll say it again, very underrated. Wow, now my gamepad's not working. You know, I think this is some force telling me that I need to test all this stuff before I start rolling film. So, let me do some off-camera troubleshooting. It still doesn't work. Okay, it's working, but with a different joystick. I'm using the Sidewinder 3D Pro off the corner Packard Bell.
You have found a secret place.
I don't know why the gamepad was not working. I actually tested it in a DOS game through Windows, and it worked there. But in Sonic CD and Firefight, it did not want to play ball. So I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting on that. But other than the gamepad, you can see it plays Windows 95 era games just fine on here. Not that I'm any good at them.
Swarmers. You have found a secret place.
That's nice.
Swarmers activated.
Swarmers.
Entire air environment has been destroyed.
Right at the very
Mission
end,
failed.
I died. That's not very fair, if you ask me. And we get to start all the way back from the beginning. Don't you just love games that just punish you so severely for being crap? I mean, we were so close. Okay, I got cheats on this time, so maybe we'll do better.
Been destroyed.
Okay, I got us back where we were, where we died. Now we can complete the level.
Mission complete.
One more level, because there's a meme in this level. And you may know what it is.
Let's collect all 19 containers. Let's collect all 19 containers. First is locating all the start positions.
Just so we can get through this. Use extreme prejudice. That's not really a good idea in this day and age.
Beaming up interrupted.
Oops.
Beaming up successful.
By the way, the Dixie Classic Air starts this week.
Beaming up
Yes,
successful.
I will be doing a video there.
Beaming up
Yes, I know
successful.
it's not going to be about computer, but you know what? I gotta be eclectic sometimes here. We can't always have a video related to a computer. If I only do computer videos day in and day out, I'll go crazy. Even if they don't get as many views.
Incoming missile. Incoming missile.
This game gets pretty loud, doesn't it?
Beaming up. Successful.
Well, this game supports multiplayer over a network, but I've never played that in the 22 years I've had this game.
Beaming up. Successful.
Is that all of them over here? So,
Successful. Beaming up. Successful. Beaming up. Successful. Beaming up. Successful.
I think the beaming up was successful.
Beaming up. Successful.
That one ship there that made that sound used to scare me as a kid, but not as much as what we'll be seeing later.
Beaming up. Successful. Plasma gun activated. Missiles activated. Successful. Beaming up. Successful. Beaming up. Successful.
There it comes, folks.
I've got reports of a large ship in the area prepped for attack. Watch yourself for that forecaster.
You know, this game gives me a real Star Trek vibe. Maybe it's just me. Okay, we're getting close, folks. Here it comes. Here it comes. On a glorious Trinitron, none less. It's the Forecaster! Oh, it's the Forecaster. The thing of my nightmares as a 6-year-old. Oh, this terrified me so much as a young child. And as Jay Wakefield likes to call it, UK Prime Minister Theresa May's car. There we go. There's your Forecaster.
Large ship in range.
Large ship in range. How dare they aggress against the council? Whatever that may be.
Incoming missile.
First one's down. Head to the next site and line those guard towers. Hang in there. Only 2 more. There's one more site, just ahead. We'll get you out before those suckers blow. Too bad. I had a couple friends in the area.
Mission complete.
Okay, that was Firefight, and as you can see, Windows 95 era games run just fine on here. But what about Windows 98 era? Well, I need to go find a game for that. Okay, we're going to go with an old standby here, Midtown Madness 2. I totally read that. And the refresh rate's gone back up to the high setting. There we go. Do a cruise through San Francisco. No cops. See, I usually go with the oh, you know what, this time let's go with a truck. Oh, this is not going to work with the refresh rate. I don't know why it likes to do that.
Get ready to take a cruise through San Francisco.
Yeah, it's still not looking right. Okay, I was able to fix it through Windows, so here we go. And joystick works. Yeah, if you go anywhere near a pedestrian in this game, they'll freak out. Used to love this game back in the day. I used to play it on my never obsolete E-machine. Obviously it didn't look or run as good as it is on this system, but I got by. I remember downloading all kinds of mods for it, different cars. Remember I even put the Back to the Future DeLorean on here. I don't have that file anymore, I don't think. But as you can see, it's running beautifully. Even on a old Voodoo 3. I would love to get a Voodoo 4 or 5 for this system, but those are extremely expensive these days. Oh yeah, people in this town are not very nice. This is the San Francisco treat. This is the city Full House took place in. No, I don't know where I'm going. By the way, I have not had to use the power cord for this camera, not once in this video. And that's because I finally went out and bought a new battery for this camera. It's a higher capacity one too, so thankfully we should probably not have to use the power cord on this camera as much anymore, which is really nice. It was getting really annoying having to tether this camera. I love this monitor. Biggest CRT computer monitor I've ever had, I bet. I think the biggest I've ever had is 17 inches. This is a 19 inch. This is a 16 meg video card. Again, would love to have a Voodoo 4 or 5 in this system, but those are just extremely expensive these days. Also, that's the brake. The Embarcadero Bridge is not in this game. I mean the Bay Bridge. You know what? I've had enough of this. Into the water. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I want to show in this video. As you saw, pretty much anything from DOS to 98 runs beautifully on this computer, and yeah, this is the perfect computer if you only have room for one computer for vintage gaming, because it plays everything, including 16-bit video games. I have emulators on here for the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and the Game Boy, which I will show off in a later video because we're starting to run out of time in this video. So, I guess that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off. Thank you for visiting the Nostalgia Mall. If you liked what you saw, please like, subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also support me on Patreon if you would like. The link to all of these are down below. Until next time, this is Billy Core, signing off.